Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, where in today's episode, we'll be covering another game stick. Yippee! If you've seen any of the other reviews I had on game sticks, so far we are 1 for 3. I also reviewed a 4K game stick in the past, which wasn't that good. A Super Famicom game stick, which also was not that good. And then a Genesis game stick, which actually was pretty decent. I saw at least one other review on this game stick, and it actually looked pretty decent. So I was intrigued and decided, you know what, I'm going to take a shot and get it. One of the things that's unique about it is rather than have one of those crappy PlayStation 2 controllers that have like a little bit of lag to them and they're just crappy quality, this one actually came with an arcade stick. There's really not much you can say about it. It's called the A-11 game console. It plays NES, Genesis, Super NES or Famicom, Game Boy Advance, and some arcade games. Has a little over 1,700 games on it. Has a HD connection via the game stick. Also comes with the USB micro for power. I got this on AliExpress for $35.11. Came up to like $36.14 with tax. You can also get this with 2 arcade sticks. It'll be just a little bit pricier. I know AliExpress has it for $55.30. Saw it on DHgate for $36, where I think you get the 2. I'm not exactly sure. I'll be putting it up there anyway. And I also saw it on eBay, the one with 2 controllers, for $5.89. However, the shipping is $19.99, bringing it up to $25.88. Still, it's cheaper than where I got it. So if it's still on there, that's where you might want to go to give it a shot. Other than that, there is not much more to say about it. I can't show you an unboxing because it was delivered in a bag, and there's really not much to it other than this and the cable. But we'll take a close look at it just to show you the build quality, and then we'll play some games on it and see if this is something that you would be wanting to add to your game stick game console collection. Now we'll take a look at what you get with the A-11 game console. So here is the game stick. As you can see, it has a little ventilation in here for cooling. I haven't actually noticed it getting too warm. This is the HDMI connection and the SD card. But here you go, it's a game stick. That's where you would put in this right here, which comes with it, which is the micro USB. I believe it's a 5-volt connection. And then last but not least, we have the arcade stick. Now it's a little on the light side. When you put in the 3 AA batteries that go in here, it adds a little bit more heft to it. But the quality of the plastic is okay. It's nothing fancy, but it's $30-some, so it's not that expensive. The buttons is a 6-button configuration here, similar to a Sega Genesis. The mapping seems to be an issue with some of the games, but not too many. But the buttons are not arcade quality. You can even hear it's a little noisy when you press the buttons on here. And they're a little on the sticky side, but they work. The arcade stick, when this comes delivered, you just have to assemble this, which is simply screw the stick on and the ball on the top. No big deal. But you can hear here the micro switches on it are a little on the noisy side, but it's not bad. And as far as I could tell, there really isn't much lag on any of the games that I played. And look up here, you have your select and start button. Pushing them together brings you up to the menu, which we'll look at. And as I said, this can come with 2 of these arcade sticks And this button right here will allow you to toggle between player 1 and player 2. So you can play it as a 2-player, obviously. But that is our look at it. So why don't we plug this thing in, play a few games, and see if you're interested in this thing. All right, here is our look at the menu. If you look on the left there, that's where you will see your menu selections. On top you have a folder which seems to have a list of ROMs on it. This is where you can put your favorites. I didn't actually set these up, they put them there, but nevertheless, it shows that it can be done. Here is some of the Famicom games. For some reason, they start to list off in the middle. As you can see, there are 726 Famicom or NES games on it. Has a pretty good selection. You can see your Mario games there. Good selection. Pac-Man you got there. 10-Yard Fight. So you got a good mix of racing games, shooters, some sports games, not that many. RPGs, there's pinball, all kinds of stuff. What excited me is to play a lot of the shooters with an arcade stick is more ideal, at least in my opinion. And it's better for the fighting games. Ooh, look at that, got Blade of Steel there too. Hubert, you can see it's got a real good selection. Tecmo Bowl. So we're not going to go through, obviously, all of them, but let's scoot over to the side there. Hitting the select allows you to go back to the left menu there. Here's some of the Super Famicom or Super NES games. Go back over select. These are your Game Boy Advance games. Scoot back up to the top. So you have your Mario Advance games, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart's up there, Final Fantasy for those that are interested in those games. A little Metal Slug, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 2 is up there. Again, real good selection. Genesis games. Again, they start somewhere in the middle. 257 of these. Again, more fighting games, Double Dragon, Street Fighters. Here's your Sonic games, Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles. And over to arcade. Again, starts in the middle here. A lot of fighters in the arcades section. As you can see, look at all these King of Fighters. 94 through 2003, you got Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition, World War, Hyper Fighting, New Challengers, a lot of Street Fighter games. Alpha 3, Alpha Warriors, see all those. X-Men versus Street Fighter. These are all fighters, all of these. A lot of good ones though. Fatal Fury's in there. Some Metal Slug games. You got 1 through X. Aero Fighters. Got 1941, 44. A lot of games in here. So why don't we click into one of these? Why don't we start off with NES and play a game or two and see how it plays. I didn't mention it before, but here's a look at the menu where you can do the settings. This is where you can change the screen setup, full screen, which kind of squashes it a little bit, stretches it. This scaling up would put it at the original aspect ratio. Down here is where you could do the key mapping. And over here is where you can save your games. And over here is where you would resume and quit, obviously. So this is interesting because this is a homebrew game for the regular Nintendo, Sonic the Hedgehog. So why don't we hit start and see what this little homebrew game looks like. This was never actually released for the ADS, but let's see how it plays. It's actually kind of interesting. As you can see with the original aspect ratio, it is in a vertical setting. And I think that'll do it for a look at the A-11 game console. Let's see if we could just wrap this up. Well, there you have it. There's our look at the A-11 arcade game stick. I guess we got another winner here. So that makes us what? 2 out of 4. So we're batting 500 on this thing, on these game sticks. That is. Again, the quality of it isn't all that spectacular. I didn't expect it to be. Even when I looked at it online, it didn't look the greatest, but it's not bad. It serves its purpose. Maybe a little noisy when you're playing games with it, but really, it's really not that bad at all. I'm actually pleased that I got it, and it's at a pretty decent price too. I'll probably actually get a lot of play out of it. In hindsight, I kind of regret not getting the second one, so that I could play 2 players with my son, for instance, or my daughter, who loves to play fighting games. But I'm actually quite happy with this thing. And I would recommend it if you wanted it. Give it a shot. It's got a good game selection. You can add games to this as well. I know some people will ask that by simply taking the SD card out of the game stick, plugging it into your computer, downloading your own ROMs, and adding them to it. I haven't tried it yet, but it's generally pretty easy with any other systems that I've tried it with. But as I said, I recommend this thing, and you'll probably enjoy it as much as I did. So that'll wrap this video up, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.